Hey, what's up, Skelemystyk? I am here today in Caravan with this hugely oversized butcher knife to lay a little bit of game theory on you as to why I think it is that the new Pip Conversion stat is going to be dying a horrible, painful death, especially where it comes to PvP. Now, before I get into my reasons for this, I want to do a quick explanation of the Pip Conversion stat. Now, there are already a number of good YouTubers, Blaze, awesome, there's your plug, who have done a fine explanation of Pip Conversion, but just to make this a nice, well-rounded project and for you to have all the information in one spot, I'm going to do a brief explanation of what Pip Conversion is and what it does. Alright, Pip Conversion. Now, I have purposely equipped one of the new Gulcher's Horde Pack wands on me just so you can see a Pip Conversion. Now, this one has plus 150, which only equals 1% Pip Conversion. Okay, now what Pip Conversion does is, those times where you're using an odd numbered pip spell, say, okay, because I'm a storm, I'm going to use the bug spell as my example. Bugs is a 5 pip spell, but most of the time I will have 3 power pips or 6 pips in my bar. Now, I've worked really hard to this point to make sure that I have 100% power pips, so I'll always be getting a power pip. Anyhow, what the Pip Conversion does is whenever you use an odd numbered spell like that, it will, on the next turn, basically refunds you that extra pip. It'll give you a white pip to replace the pip that you used up or burned up in that spell that wasn't needed. Okay, now here's where the problem comes in with that. For one thing, like I just mentioned, for max levels, Pip Conversion is virtually pointless. We have worked to this point to make sure that we have 100% power pips. Okay, so yes, we will always have power pips and we'll always get that one back. And that's fine and dandy. But let's look at this one more time. For this 150, let me get on it. Let me get on it there. There we go. For this 150, you're getting 1%. So this is going to work largely like all the other stats do, where you've got to have 6 or 7 or 800 of a rating to get 100%. Luckily, this isn't 1% per 150 because we'd be in trouble then. Okay? Luckily, it doesn't work like that, but it still works to the point where you're going to have 7 or 800 of that rating to equal the 100% chance that you'll get that one white pip back at the end of a spell. Okay, now what this Pip Conversion will also do is once your pip bar is totally full, it will start converting any white pips that you have in your pip bar to power pips. Again, why this is not very much use in PvP is, guys, how often do you wait enough turns to have a full pip bar in PvP before you do anything? I mean, how often does that happen? Honestly. So I don't see where that part of Pip Conversion is going to be of any use at all. I mean, maybe in 4v4 or something like that where you're sitting there for ages anyway. But honestly, these days, how much 4v4 other than in like the tourneys is even played? You know, PvP these days is all 1v1, 2v2, fast action, move your hiney, kill the opponent, and get going on to supper. That's what PvP is these days. Okay? To boot with Pip Conversion, it's just like any other stat. Pip Conversion, if you're concentrating on getting it and getting it full, means you're giving up other things. Okay? Now, I understand that the way this is working right now, it does seem to be that they are phasing out crit and block. Because crit and block was broken in PvP, you could have one turn slam bam, thank you ma'am wins, especially by high damage schools like Storm and Fire. And the guy on the other side of the PvP arena didn't even get a shot off before you blew him into pieces and it was, again, off to supper. Okay, so yeah, they're phasing out crit and block, I do believe. But what they're replacing it with this Pip Conversion thing, it costs too much, I do believe. Honestly, I think it costs way too much for what it does, both in the stats you have to gather to get it, and in the stats that you may have to give up in something else to get it. I mean, having an extra pip every once in a while, that may prove useful. But it's also not very often in PvP where that one white pip is going to make the difference between a win or a loss. PvP matches, rarely are they long drawn out, nobody can kill the other person or has a strat to win situations. They're not that often. Okay, so I'm not really seeing where even if you build all the stats to have full pip conversion, where you get that extra pip every time you use an odd numbered spell, that it's going to do you what all the gathering and what all the giving up is actually going to give you for what you get. They, like I mentioned a minute ago, they are, I'm pretty well certain that they are phasing out crit and block simply for the reason that it's too powerful. But this has gone on the other stream. This is, well, honestly, I don't feel of very much use in the end of the day. Okay, unless they do something different, something major, some kind of major change to this pip conversion thing, I don't really honestly see where it's of use in PvP or PvE. I mean, I don't. I mean, there's very few mass hit spells. Tip is one where if you're a powerful enough Storm Wizard that, you know, that one extra pip next turn might finish off, you know, a couple of hundred damage that you didn't get on the boss, or you didn't get on mobs that are attacking you, or what have you. But there's really not a lot of one pip spells that hit all and do any significant amount of damage. There's not. Even if you happen to, you know, buff it up, you put a Colossal or whatever you on there, then you're going to do a little bit, but still yeah, one pip you're doing, what, 500, 600 max, best. There's also the fact that I don't see what other stat pip conversion can be used with. It's not like, oh, say, damage and pierce, how they fit together. Okay, if you've got a good damage pierce combination, you've got something there. You want damage, of course. Everybody wants damage. And you want the pierce to get that damage through. Those things mesh really well. That's like peanut butter and jelly. But pip conversion and almost any other stat is like ice cream and hot sauce. It just, they don't go together, you know. That's what I'm getting at with this. So I do believe that with the cost of pip conversion and what it actually does for that cost, that even though they're kind of experimenting with it now, I do believe that pip conversion may very well go by the wayside as an idea that was good and novel, but not long-lasting. All right, guys, that's what I've got on pip conversion, and that's where I think it's going to go. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, a good hard smash, and as well subscribe and share. It's going to help me out greatly. Until next time, this is Skelemystyk reminding you that whatever else you do, always love the game. Peace! Hey, it's Skelemystyk. I am here today in nice, beautiful, busy Caravan to bring you another edition of Through the Grapevine, where I talk about news, tips, tricks, rumors, and all things Wizard. I had a great day the other day doing the other Grapevine that I did in Mirage, so I thought I might do some recapping